Hello and welcome to So Good We Named It, the first Golden Girls and Golden Palace podcast, and to my knowledge, the first Golden Girls or Golden Palace podcast with black hosts. I'm Barrett.
And I'm Kay.
And the last episode I was like, oh, I'm going to be so refreshed and energized so I can be fully
Lies.
present. I was good. I was good today. But I ended up
Mm-hmm.
going to this store called Black Friday Deals, and I
Yep.
felt like Rose when she
Oh
passed
my
out at the
God.
World of Wool
You drove
because
all the way there?
all the way where there's one near me. Are there multiples? Probably.
I thought it was far.
The one I went to was on Diversity.
Oh,
And I
okay.
wasn't even trying to go there. I was just gonna go to Target and Ross real quick, and then I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
what's this?" I was in there almost 2 hours, and I didn't even know it. What you eating? Those little New Orleans chips?
Yeah, I got me some of them voodoo chips that they be having at the pot belly.
Oh well, they're not a paid sponsor, so we ain't got no money from y'all.
Yeah, we not endorsing y'all. But y'all can endorse us if y'all want.
But oh, your children just busted on up in here. You need to lay into him with a nice melon baller. That's what you need. Um,
Her name's Sophia.
but they they have every and anything. I'm gonna have to tell you about this off camera, but it wore me out. I had a headache. I had to come home and lay down and take a nap, and my head still hurts. It was too much. It was definitely too much. But I got some amazing
What was you in
deals.
there doing? Okay. Was it
So
crowded?
it was very crowded. They just opened
Mm.
yesterday,
Mm.
and
This must be a new location because the other one I'm thinking of is far.
well, I used to see Facebook posts about this store,
Right.
so this must
Mm-hmm.
be another one. But oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, we'll have to get into this because it was a lot. But that's why I'm so tired. I was like, damn, I'm still gonna be tired and dragging my ass on this damn show. And I see that I'm not the one that's zooted this time since you over there fucking them chips up.
Don't tell everybody.
Shit. I
Oh
thought
God.
about it, but I was like, you know what? I don't know because I was last night, and I have a problem. I don't know when to stop. Those munchies get
But
you.
you know what messed me up? You know what messed me up? When I went to Vegas, I got a pin
Mm,
and I only have to put it like once and I be decent for a while.
wow.
I don't this is
I
terrible.
had one like that Nikisha gave me, so of course I didn't use it because who knows what was in that. But
We love you.
shout out. Tonight we're going to get into episode 4 of Golden Palace, and it is called "One Old Lady to Go." Was this your first time watching it? Because I rewatched it so that I could take notes, of course.
I feel like I watched it before, but I rewatched it too.
So I thought it was a pretty cute episode. I do want to first of all point out the fact that Vivian was on the Golden Girls. She played
Right.
Dorothy's.
Who she played somebody's mom, right?
No, she wasn't somebody's mom. When Dorothy was in the hospital, when they had the little the dance thing,
Uh-huh.
when Rose and Blanche had their top hats,
Yeah.
this same actress was in the hospital in the same room with Dorothy, and she had like cancer or something really serious, and they made Dorothy feel like, damn, I'm over here doing all of this over this minor surgery.
Oh yeah.
And you might also recognize her from Mrs. Doubtfire as the caseworker.
That's who.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I can't think
who.
of any like major roles that she's had, but I feel like she was in a
Mm-mm.
lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s. And her birthday, I believe, was a few days ago because I saw someone on Twitter posted it and somebody was like, wow, I can't believe she's still alive. And they were like, yeah, she died in 2021. No, 2001. They
Damn.
were just kind of celebrating her birthday. But shout out to her. I
Mm.
think her name is Anne something. I feel like I should have had this ready to go.
She
Whoops.
reminded me of one of the ladies that played one of the mothers. That's
You
why I thought
mean
she was
Rose's mother?
mm-hmm.
Well, she has said that she reminded her of her mother,
No,
which I
she
don't really
wasn't she
see it.
women okay, remember when Blanche was dating the man who still lived at home with his mama and she came to get him?
That
That ain't
was
her.
no, that was the same lady. We don't like her. Remember, another one of my great
Yeah.
impressions. She also played the grandmother when Sophia was working at that cowboy burger place,
Okay,
Pecos
yeah,
Pete's
yep.
something.
Her
How'd you like
grandson.
some saddle fries with that ranch house burger or some shit they had to say?
Mm-hmm.
And then she
Her
also played
grandson.
Candy, the flight attendant, when they went to that funeral. And they were like, "Where did this boat come from?" And she's like, "The beverage
Mm-hmm.
cart. Yes, yes, that's right, the
The beverage
beverage
cart.
cart." So she was
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of episodes. She what was her name? Meg Wiley. She definitely got
Mm.
her features. I feel like she was in a fourth one too. But this lady, basically, in case anyone is listening to this without watching the episode, this elderly lady has some type of dementia or Alzheimer's, and she ends up getting, I guess, lost at the hotel. How did she even wind up there? And then Rose kind of took her under her wing. I will say that I love how, unlike the Golden Girls, they really paid attention to the details with the set in reference to the exterior shots used because they had the same umbrella and patio furniture and even the
Mm-hmm.
the windows for the entryway. Just thought I'd point that out. I appreciate that because the Golden Girls definitely didn't give a damn about any consistency with set design.
Mm-mm. No
But
damn.
it's interesting that she thought that Rose was named Charlene when
Mm-hmm.
Charlene is the name of the Rose like character from Designing Women, played by Jean Smart. And that is a show that, they dragged a couple of times, only to, as I mentioned before, end up airing back to back with them on CBS with Golden Palace. Just thought that was interesting. I wonder if that was on purpose. Because, like Rose,
Mm-hmm.
she was blind and not the smartest and came from a small town, had a million stories about her hillbilly family. And I've always felt like Designing Women is definitely, following that model of the Golden Girls with Julia being Dorothy, Suzanne being Blanche, Charlene is Rose, of course. And I would say Mary Jo's kind of a Sophia, short little smart mouth. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know how I feel about her saying, call me mama. And Rose just like, okay, mama.
But didn't her mother have Alzheimer's or dementia or something?
No, only thing that happened to her was that she had broken her leg ice skating or something, which they could
Who's
reference.
some one of their moms had dementia
Oh,
or
that was
Alzheimer's?
Blanche's mother
Blanche? Yeah,
on the
Blanche's
Mother's
mother.
Day episode. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't
I remember
Virginia the
ever since you
slut?
cool. Mm-hmm.
But no, ma'am, that was me. I don't know how. I mean, maybe that's a Rose quality, but some random old lady. I don't care how much I like her. If she's like, call me mama. I don't know about all that.
She was
Um,
a little special, and it helps if you go along with whatever they're thinking, like
yeah,
the
I
little
get. Well,
fetishism.
I know that with people suffering from that, you should go along with them. But I feel like Rose was doing it because she wanted to do it, not to help
Mm-hmm.
Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, oh, you remind me of my mother, which I don't see any similarities between her and Alma.
I
And then
mean,
she
they both older,
she
nurturing, I
mentions
guess.
later, she's like, oh, my sister convinced me to put her in a home and she was scared and I regretted it. So we just never heard about the fact that she put her mother in a home. She said 6 years ago. So that would have been um, like the second or third season. And we had just met her mother. She seemed fine. What a rapid decline. And
COVID.
just going too
Too
soon.
soon.
Just going by her mother's personality, I can't. That doesn't match with her. That she would just be scared and let her just shove her in a nursing
Mm-hmm.
home. I feel like that was sloppily done. Didn't appreciate that. And which sister was this? Holly, the sociopath,
Holly.
or what was the other one who was blind? What was her
Agnes.
name?
Not Agnes.
Agnes. What?
Sorry.
I need some of what you got. What the fuck was her name?
It's
We just
amazing,
talked
by the
about
way.
her.
Uh,
Damn, what is
I
her name?
can't.
Lillian. Lillian.
Lillian.
Goddamn Lillian. Lillian don't need to be making decisions about nobody, cause she over there burning up
Okay.
people's kitchens and shit. And then
It's
I feel like this. I feel like Golden Palace had a couple of very special episodes, as did the Golden Girls. And this one, she's like, "Oh, I've read stories where people dump their elderly. Is that a thing? Do people do that?"
like, yeah, that's why they would be a lot of homeless older people because they, don't have nowhere to go and stuff. They be old.
But
Some
she
of 'em.
said dump as if they're just like, hey, ma, get in the car. And then they
I'm
just,
like kill them,
no, not, Lord,
like dump them in the lake or
not in
something,
the
like dump
lake.
'em.
She
Oh
said
Lord.
dump them like somewhere in public. Like she
Oh
thought
yeah,
Vivian
they're
got.
homeless people. That's how they be homeless. No.
As someone
All
who
right.
works closely with the homeless community, I've never encountered any of them because I'll be like, hey, what's your story? Blah blah blah. When I'm handing the stuff out, and one, none of them are usually of that age, but I've never heard any of them tell me, oh, my child left me here. Um,
Maybe not in Chicago, but like in the South, because it's
I'm gonna
warmer.
have to look into this because I mean, I'm sure it's a thing. If Rose says it's a thing, it's a thing. But I just cannot imagine it being that prevalent that people are just literally dumping their
Older people.
and I hate the term dumping. That just seems so
Hmm.
crass. Okay, I look it up. It says granny dumping is a term that was introduced in the early 80s by social workers. Let's
Mm.
see. So apparently it is a thing, the abandonment of an elderly person in a public place such as a hospital or nursing home, especially by a relative.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
Okay.
What you eating
Yeah.
now? Are those some
Some
french fries?
portillos. I had DoorDash some portillos.
Lord
But
mercy.
damn, you thinking you finna take your granddaddy? He don't think he going on a little walk or something. Next thing you know, you just leave his ass right there.
That's
Like,
fucked
damn,
up. I smell a pony ride. I mean, I guess
damn.
Dorothy did that to Sophia, really. She didn't know she was going to get put into Shady Pines. At least it was a care facility,
At
but
least it was
still.
a right, but
That is
if
so
you just
fucked up.
leave
I
him
think it's
outside,
fucked up enough when people do it to their dogs and just like put them out the car and speed off. Like, how much of an ass wipe do you have to be to do some shit like that? I mean, Peanut be getting on my nerves, but I would never just drop her
ooh,
ass off somewhere.
shit,
That's fucked up. That is really fucked up.
it
And it,
is.
it
That's
took Golden
terrible.
Palace for me to know that was a thing because I had
Yeah,
never
that's
heard that.
awful. That's
Damn.
awful.
And I understand her being concerned, but you can't just be like, "Oh, she's staying here, and that's final." The fuck?
Hmm.
Like y'all can
I
barely
mean,
take
she
care of
said until
yourselves.
she figured out where she was going, until
What if that
somebody
never
came to go
happened?
get her.
Because she wasn't
You're
really
right.
trying. She didn't call the police. She didn't put out
I
a.
mean, she did call them, but they took Sophia.
She only called them when Roland made such a big stink.
Yeah, I guess because she was trying to help, and there's some sentiments attached to the older lady.
Well, they don't have the coins for that since one of the first lines was "Boy, business is terrible." That's their favorite shit to say every fucking
Right.
episode. Y'all need to just sell this shit because
But
clearly
how they saying business is terrible and they was booked?
I don't know. Or
It was
maybe
booked up.
maybe they're just talking about the restaurant business. I mean, I don't know of anybody that just goes to a hotel to just eat. But
People do,
do they?
especially downtown.
Do they? What
They
hotel?
they
What
got regular
hotels are
food.
you eating at? Well, you know what? That's a lie. That's a lie because I went to London
See,
House. But I don't
exactly.
really think about it as being at the hotel. I think of it as a separate entity.
Right. That's what maybe they think too.
And the views are spectacular. The food's
Amazing.
too expensive, not that good,
Mm.
but um,
Mm.
but she was complaining, and then Rose walks in. She's like, "Oh, I've been waiting this table with this lady. So business is so bad it takes two of y'all." And what Rose
Right.
always dresses like she's on her way to second service. Like you working in heels and this full skirt suit buttoned all the way up. That seems real
Okay.
hot. But it was interesting. I always try to watch when in a show they're like doing a task, especially with food, to see how realistic it is. I swear they were making that same sandwich, like all of them, for the longest.
Yeah.
And
They ain't never eat it
I'm
either.
curious. I mean, I would assume it's not real food because it takes hours to film. But if it wasn't, it was very realistic looking. So shout
Mm.
out to the prop department, including that random recycling bin that they just had to put in there just so Oliver could say, "Hey Chewie, we got any leftover cans?"
Right.
Like, where do you think you literally just walked by the recycling bin? That's the best they could do.
uh,
As we continue to drag Billy L. Sullivan, as we do
right.
every episode. But that's again the interesting dynamic with all of them and this kid. And Blanche is like, "Oh, I'll talk to him about the birds and the bees. You didn't even raise your own
Hmm.
six children correctly, and now you want to help
I
raise
mean, if it's
Oliver."
one thing she know,
Yeah, that's
it's
what I thought. I was
that.
like, oh, maybe this is just her one topic that she can speak on. Um, that whole Chinese takeout thing, they should have just
Okay, because
sold
I got
Chinese food all
questions.
the time.
But I
But
got questions.
what?
How are they doing that? Like, how are they making a profit?
I guess the people were calling the hotel thinking it was the other Golden Palace, and then Oliver would go deliver it on his bike. I guess he's on the side of the expressway with his Chinese takeout containers. Maybe he had a red wagon attached. But they were really wearing out that whole who me hey you shit.
Okay. Because I'm just like, okay, I don't, can we stop that?
And I don't know how realistic it is that every time that somebody would say, "Who me?" You're literally the only person in the room. They're talking directly
Right.
to you. And that was Margaret Cho as the doctor. How
Yeah.
random. But why did she have
Hmm.
to have that fake ass accent? They were really playing up the stereotypes because she does not talk like that. Shrimp
No, she
fried
don't.
rice, like that's not appropriate. I don't know if it was appropriate for me to
Okay.
repeat it either, but for those that
Just an
didn't watch the
example.
episode, it was a
Just an
very
example.
exaggerated. And there are people who talk like that, but she does not. So if you're going to hire
Mm-mm.
her, why can't she speak in her?
Her regular
Why
voice.
does she have to put on this phony accent? Like not
So,
all
like,
Asian Americans are going to have that accent.
were they paying the restaurant and then like triple, double overcharging the people?
No, they were just taking all of the money because people were getting them
But how are they
confused.
getting the food?
The people they were delivering it to them.
I know, but if you didn't pay for it, how are they getting the food to take to the people?
What? What are you asking me?
How did they make the money?
Because they were preparing the food at the hotel and selling it to the people that thought they were the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, they were selling the food at
You
the.
thought they
Oh,
were
so they
just
made.
cooking it and just keeping it in the kitchen?
No, I thought they were like getting the food from a real Chinese restaurant.
No,
Ain't
they
this
were
why the
cooking
lady
it.
was in there? Oh.
She's an acupuncturist who also makes great shrimp fried rice. And then they had that whole joke about the cooking dogs, not appropriate at
Mm-mm.
all. One of her few lines. I'm surprised she went along with that. But back then, maybe she felt like she had to because she had her own sitcom, which was the first sitcom with an all Asian, cast or whatever, or mostly Asian. And she ended up having a lot of issues with ABC because they were, again, doing stereotypical shit and they were
Mm-hmm.
really, fighting with her about her weight, just a lot of problematic shit. So maybe she just felt like she had to deal with that. But
Mm.
it's always interesting looking at old shows and seeing who is the one that ended up being like the most famous out of all the random people on the show. And she,
Mm-hmm.
has had a pretty decent career despite she had this one little part. You never know. And look at Don Cheadle. Billy O'Sullivan,
Yeah.
on the other hand,
As we
but
continuously drag Billy Hustle.
he's used to it. He likes it. Um, I also wanted to reference the Susie Bad Girl puppet sketch.
Let's.
Chewy, um, the actor that portrays him, was
Mm,
in the ABC show Home Economics, and he played one of the characters' dad. And he
mm.
ended up in his episode building like a little puppet theater and putting on a puppet show for his grandkids. And I just was like, I wonder if the writers saw this episode and just wanted to do a callback. Probably not, but that's quite the
Mm.
coincidence, I must say. And those puppets look like the ones from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
They did. I
What
like
was
the
her
little puppet
name?
show.
Lady something. I want to say Aberlin, Aberdeen, Lady
You good? I don't
Fairchild.
remember all that
Let me look up Mr. Rogers puppets.
because Mr. Rogers did the best puppet show ever.
I used to like that show as a kid, but looking
I
back,
did.
I'm like, that was some boring shit. I mean, not to, to poo poo his legacy, because it definitely was, an
Hmm.
important show. But compared to the other shows I was watching as a kid, I'm like, how did this keep my interest? Because he's so
Right?
very, monotone.
Melancholy.
And today with
Mm.
kids shows, everybody's like, hey, everybody, all in your face.
Yeah.
And he was just like, hello, neighbor.
Hmm.
What are their names? I see pictures of them in the land of make believe.
Hmm.
Let's see the characters: King Friday, Queen Sarah,
King
Prince
Friday.
Tuesday, Henrietta Pussycat, Lady Elaine Fairchild. That's who I was looking at. She looked
The most
terrifying.
dramatic one.
Let me find a picture of her. She looked a hot mess. She looked like, look, you see this? Let me show you.
Yeah, let me see.
She looked like she on that stuff. Like she'd have had a few
Had a rough life.
shit.
Few pints of gin.
Yeah. in the plastic bottle.
Okay.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves. This is low key terrifying. Like, look
But
at
I watched it. That is creepy
that.
as an adult.
She kind of has
Wow.
Blanche's haircut.
Just
Um,
a little bit.
on a side note, I have had some serious technical difficulties. I see why Enough Wicker hires people because I can't keep doing all this by myself. This is too much. I keep trying to upload
What's
last
going
week's
on?
episode on YouTube, and I keep getting
Mm,
all these errors in Final Cut and on YouTube, and it's not letting it upload. And I mean, I don't
mm.
know if anybody's just on the edge of their seat waiting for it like that all this time because it's on other platforms. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't know. I've never had this issue before. And then I had those
It never
issues with
let you do it?
Apple. No, I've tried it. I tried it when I first put it up, and I've tried it a couple times. Tried it tonight, and I was googling the code that I'm getting and all that. It's just like,
Yeah.
what in the world? What is
Did
really
you try
going on?
adding a picture or adding the sound to a picture or adding the picture to the sound to try to make it think it's a video?
That's what I do every one. Clearly, you don't look at them.
Not on YouTube.
All of them are like that. They have a picture, and it's just not saving or something. Annoying.
Mm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
did you have any notes? Because I feel like these are all my notes.
First of all, I was engaging in conversation
I'm
because I
just
had some
asking.
questions
Like, I don't
about.
want to
Okay, because
steamroll
hold
you.
on. No, we're good here. We're good
Okay,
here.
just making sure
Don't
you're a little
don't make
preoccupied
it
by
seem
your
like I ain't paying
Portillos.
attention. Don't make it seem like I'm not here. I'm
I'm
with
I'm
you.
I'm just asking. Hopefully the next
I'm with
time
you.
we record, I'll be full of energy now that I'm on your team at work and I have a new
Whoop
schedule. I don't have to be up all damn night. Well, not up all night. Up. I don't have to go to bed. I don't know what I'm trying
So
to say.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't gotta go to bed as early.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. When they were dragging Sophia out the door, they were really a little
They
rough.
was really
Remind me
manhandling
of that
her.
Golden Girls when she's like, "Easy on the arm, Dorothy. You break it, you buy it." And then she's
Oh
screaming
my
for
god.
help. Rose didn't recognize her screams. Roland didn't
That's what I was thinking
recognize.
too. And why she didn't call their name?
And they don't confirm. They're just like, "Oh, an old lady. Okay, you're coming
You
with
know what I'm
me."
saying? No idea, nothing. No escort or anything. Like what?
Those pigs. Um, what was? Oh, and again with the random pianos, they just love throwing in a piano out of nowhere just for that
Yeah,
scene, and then it's gone, never to be seen again.
never to
But
be seen
overall, this
again.
was one of my favorite episodes of Golden Palace, and one of the few times I liked Oliver. I'm always here for him and Sophia with their get rich quick schemes.
Right, every episode.
But I would give it a, not that we've been rating them, but I'd give it a four.
I
The
would. Same. That's solid.
the Vivian storyline, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. Did
Nothing to
she
write
tell her
home
say no
about.
lot? No, that was the second episode.
She did
Oh
tell a
no,
St.
no, it
Love
was the first.
story. Talking
Okay, that was
about
the same one.
wearing like a crown made of cheese or some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I like the new outfits. That purple dress she had on, that is definitely a style from the 80s with like the little like ropes and flags. I had a shirt like that
Mm-hmm.
that I got from the thrift store. Rose was really pushing through in that purple with that cinched waist as usual.
They look so much better now. They look like they've made them younger.
They do, they do. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the
Mm-hmm.
gin. But did you have any additional thoughts on this episode here?
Overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4. I just echo what you said. It was a great episode. I enjoyed it.
How's your Portillo's? Looks
It's
good.
delicious. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
I bet it's extra good
It's
with your
superb. Superb
accompaniment.
even.
But I also just want to shout out again all of the folks that we have on our Twitter and things. It's hard to keep up, which is a good thing. It's just so many people. Just looking at it real quick, Joe Doe, Miranda Allen, just always keeping the
Jodo.
conversation going. Chris, of course, from our previous episode, and we definitely
Chris.
want to get some co-hosts soon. I have your name saved and documented, but
We're not paying you. Just keep
yeah,
that in mind.
you get paid in experience. But since
Mm-hmm.
I did join Kay's team, I keep having to do all these meetings, and they're like, "Oh, tell us a fun fact about yourself." And every time it's like, "Oh, well, Kay and I will be at the Golden Girls convention. Get your tickets now. Thank you for being a fan.com." And
Mm-hmm.
everybody's like, "Oh, wow,
Plug it.
plug it." They're like, "Oh, that's so cool." Yeah, but are you listening to the podcast? And
Right.
my background on Teams at work is the Golden Girls living room. And I mentioned this on Twitter more than once. People at work have been like, "Oh, I love your background. Isn't that Fresh Prince? The fuck kind of Fresh Prince you
No.
watching?" It don't look nothing
Absolutely
like
not.
that. Nothing.
Not a
And
thing.
I'll be like, no, that's Golden Girls. They're like, oh well, it looks the same cause where the door is. No, no, it
Who's
looks
telling
nothing
you
like
this?
that.
Who's telling you this?
People that I don't know, just
Okay. Do
random
they look
people.
like you?
No,
Okay.
they don't. Um,
Because.
and the first the first time I was like, okay, maybe they just got confused. But like three different people have said that. I don't
Yeah,
see
no.
it. Am I missing
Mm-mm.
something?
No.
And they
A
tried to they
chromosome.
tried to justify like no, see, because no, it does it's not
Mm-mm.
the same at all.
Not anything
The
close to.
nerve, the absolute nerve. I guess it doesn't matter
The
because I'll probably
audacity.
never be back on camera again. I was just doing that because I was training, unless I just want to be seen by a special someone. But maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch and do different rooms in the house. Maybe next time I'll do Blanche's room.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I have my Golden Girl shirt on. I have so many now. I feel like I'm wearing them
I
all
want
the
to do the
time.
lanai. You are. You always have something Golden Girls related.
But I feel like I
I
need
want to do my lanai.
to no longer add to my collection because
Do
at this
you
point,
think
I don't have any more room at this point.
that? Exactly.
So I'm like, maybe this is enough. Now, when we move and I get a house, then I'll have a Golden Girls room. But for now, I might need to slow down. But it's been hard to find stuff lately. I feel like because of our podcast. But so many stores, they usually have a lot of Golden Girls stuff. I don't see it. I went to Five
No.
Below today and nothing.
Not
But
a
they got
thing.
hella shit for Seinfeld and Friends. I mean, I like those shows, but I don't feel like they're collection worthy.
Worthy.
I feel
People would
like
debate you with that with friends.
I don't know. I just feel like those seem too recent to be trying to collect shit like The Office
It
and
was
Schitt's
like
Creek.
1993.
But it went off the air in 2003, which I guess was a long time ago. It doesn't feel like it. No, it was
Yeah.
2004. It was 94 to 2004. But I just feel like when
That's
you
still a long
collect
time ago.
stuff from a TV show, that it should be
Mm-hmm.
something that's more of a classic, that's a little older, like I Love Lucy or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably better that way. Manny did get me a windshield cover, but I don't think it'll fit because of the little thing to hold my phone. So maybe I'll just hang it up
Oh.
in my room. But
You gonna hang a windshield from your room?
why not? Add it to the
All right.
collection. But I feel like I need to take a break. That doesn't mean if anybody wants to send me something that you can't do it. I'll make space. I'll find a spot. But I
They're just
finally,
illicit
I
items.
mean, I don't want to deter anybody because I have people that I barely know that just will randomly send me stuff. I mean, they ask for my address, and I'm like, oh, well, sure. I mean, why
You
not?
just give them your real address.
I mean, do I need a P.O. box?
Yeah, you don't want people to know where you stay, where you lay your head at.
I mean, if they can get up in here,
They can have whatever.
I mean, if it means that much
Okay.
to you, let me not say that before I wake up with somebody standing over me. I
Okay,
heard your
listen.
podcast. Um, a big ugly man with a limp just walked by
You
my
know what I'm
window.
saying?
But
Oh man, that was good.
are you ready for the second course? I see another tray.
I was laughing at the joke. The joke was a good joke.
But yeah, I think that I don't know. I would just always think back to that article or whatever, or not article, that interview where Betty White was
Mm.
saying at a certain point it was we were just doing the Golden Girls in a lobby of a hotel, and I'm like, I don't. I feel like that's what it would always have to be because they're still the same character. So I don't know what she meant by that because I feel like for the most part they would still throw in hotel stuff. Like this seemed hotelish because they were doing the Chinese food. But I can't help but get sad every time I rewatch an episode, knowing that it didn't last, and then knowing, Betty White did an interview after the Golden Girls ended, saying how she'd be such a wreck if she'd have to say goodbye to
Mm.
Rose, only to have to do it a year later. So sad.
Aw.
But anywho, before we get out of here, I do want to point out I'm saying that the Golden Girls cruise is back. I know that it was a thing
Yeah.
before, and as with anything
Mm-hmm.
Golden Girls related, everyone I've ever met is going to be sending me this article for the next 6 months. But I don't know if I would do that because well, number one, I'm not going on a cruise during the pandemic. But number two, whenever they have stuff like this, I find
Mm-hmm.
that it's not authentic. It's like,
No,
okay,
it's
we're just
really
gonna have
cheesy.
regular shit and just slap the Golden Girls on it and be like, oh, we have
Right.
cheesecake and a little shit like that. That's why I like Golden
Mm-hmm.
Con because it's for fans by fans.
Right.
Like they are doing the work. Unlike when we go to like little bars like DS Tequila, boo, when we went to
Mm-hmm.
that trivia
Yeah.
night and the
Boo. They
answers were
played us.
wrong
We were supposed to win.
and they were just Googling stuff and didn't really know. And that happened at
Mm-hmm.
another one I went to. Like, why can't they get actual fans to do this stuff and not just
To do
be
it exactly.
Googling and they don't know what they're talking about? So I
Cause
would
they
need
was
to.
getting mad when we kept correcting them. Like,
Right,
but
but you don't know
you're
what you're talking
talking
about.
wrong. Exactly.
Like, you can't put up a picture of Miles and then say that I don't get points when you say, who is this? And I say Nicholas Carbone or
Exactly.
Samuel Plankmaker or Arnie. Be
Mm-hmm.
specific. Um, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to look into that because I would love the idea of like a Golden
Mm-hmm.
Con but on the water. And I don't know. I'd have to see if it's worth it before I can commit to that exactly. And I still don't know what I want to do as far as like getting a hotel for Golden Con because I just want this to be an event of a lifetime. But I don't
Maybe we can get a
know.
hotel and have like a meet and greet.
Maybe that'd be interesting. Although I don't. I know that Golden Girls does have a very big gay fan base, and I don't want this to turn into something else that they think it is.
Okay.
It's not that type of party just because I said come by the hotel later. Uh,
X-Nay on the RT page.
but I think it'll be fun, and I'm just still excited at the mere idea. I feel like I don't know. It's hard to imagine that there's going to be this humongous like epic Golden Girls gathering because I've always talked about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't they have a Golden Girls convention? And now they do. So, very
Look
very
at you
excited. I don't know what we're gonna
manifesting.
talk about. We haven't gotten to that point yet. But if you have not already, get your tickets. Thank you for being a fan.com. Plug it. And
Plug
people keep
it.
tweeting like, "Oh, are you going to be there? I'm going to be there. Oh, can't wait to meet you." It's going to be an epic meet and greet. Hopefully, COVID has itself together so we don't have to wear masks.
Okay.
Although you don't
I'm
have to
sick
anyway.
of it.
Illinois dropped their mandate, but I don't know if I feel comfortable.
I don't.
But I want to be able to take pictures and all of that. So that'll be very exciting, and can't wait to
Mm-hmm.
meet Gil Kessler,
Yeah.
and young Dorothy, and so many more. But that's all we have for today. Thank you for listening. Feel free to go ahead and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. The website still has nothing on it, but I'm still paying for that domain. So hopefully that's something on it soon. But if anybody out there does like web design or graphic design or something, let us know. We need to hire some people because this is too much for me to do by
It's a lot.
myself. And Kay's a mother of three, so she certainly doesn't have the time between
I'm very much capable. I just don't have
Doug
the
and
time, like
Skippy
you
and
said.
Biff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Michael.
yeah, all of them, so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for listening. And as
And
always,
thank you
thank
for
you for
being a
being a
friend.
friend. From the
No,
both of us, it
from
is our
right.
shared catchphrase. And stay tuned for next time when we'll be discussing. Let's see, what is the next episode? I don't know. We'll find out. You'll find out when I find out, which might not
Mm-hmm.
be until the next one airs. But thanks for listening. To enter our So Good We Named It Golden giveaway so you too can feel like the world is one giant weenie roast and you're the biggest weenie, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at So Good We Named It, make a post letting your followers know to listen to the show, and send us a DM so we know that you've entered. And don't forget to buy your tickets to Golden Con in Chicago, April 22nd through April 24th. Go to thankyouforbeingafan.com for more information. And thank you for being a friend.